Welcome to the Right Hype podcast, where we talk about hype culture done right. My name is Gavon, brand strategist and content creator. Join me as I explore the pulsating world of hype culture with unflinching honesty and the dire necessity for sustainability and inclusion. If you want to follow along this journey, please visit www.gavonowen.com/righthype. Thank you and enjoy this episode. Today, I have a special guest on the podcast who I think has impeccable style and incredible sense of humor. Whenever he walks into the room, it's like all eyes are on him. He commands attention and he draws people in. His name is Will, and we're going to get into the right hype with him today. Now, the reason why I brought you on today because I see you as a leader. We're in a world of followers, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we need more people like you and like myself who are willing to take a stand for something and really stand for something more than just surface level things. So I really want today to just explore your perspective, explore your style, of course, but really get people inspired by the words that, come out of your mouth and the things that you're thinking about, because, they inspire me. And they also are just like, you're a funny dude. Like I don't not laugh when we're together. So
funny haha or funny
I feel like funny haha, but like also like the irony or even just like the sarcasm, it just catches me off guard. And so like I want you to introduce yourself first before we get into our conversation, just so people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a creative by the very true nature of it. Anything I touch, I amplify. It could be jewelry, it could be clothes, it could be art, it could be acting, it could be modeling, it could be a plethora of things. I'm a man of many hats.
And so where are you from? Where did you...
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Mm-hmm. Okay. So born and raised...
Yeah, born and raised in Brooklyn, Trinidad, Grenada, even London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but mainly in Brooklyn.
So what brought you out to London?
My father.
Okay. And what's the difference? Because I've heard London is like New York.
I haven't spent too much time there. I didn't like it at that time and point. It was like the early 2000s. It was very like grunge and cyber-esque out there. I wasn't really for it. I was more in the countryside.
It's crazy though that you got to kind of experience a different side of the world at such a young age. Not too many people get to experience
that's what he kind of wanted for me. Him and my mom came over here. I'm firstborn here. So I just didn't want to become a statistic of anything when I came down here.
Would you say that it's kind of helped expand your point of view on things?
Well, let me put it like this, right? Not to like switch anything. He owned a store, many stores. And my mom was a seamstress as well. So he was able to sell things like clothes, jewelry, beepers, gold, glasses, perfume, bags, the whole nine. And I was never into selling anything. I was never into fashion at all. But I guess subconsciously both sides intertwined and it downloaded in me over a period of time, and all the teachings and stuff he was instilling in me went forward. I'm not with an agency. I'm by myself. I didn't even know I was styling or, personal shopping at that point in time. I was a kid, like 15, 16, and I had a night job catering, and I was getting paid $300 to $350 a night, and I worked 3 nights out of the whole week, and it was all mine. I didn't have a bill to pay.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like at that time and point, I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I just went and bought shit. You know what I mean? Like Nudies, Babe, Billionaire Boys Club, like 10 Deep, Miska, amongst friends, things like that back in the day. And over a period of time, you just start to realize you're just buying shit. You know what I mean? You start spending enough money, you want things that appreciate with time. I just started finding myself. And when I went back to school, niggas would be like, yo, I could say the N-word, right?
I'll bleep it out. It don't
All right,
matter.
cool.
You can do that.
People would be like, yo, you look fly and da-da-da. And it's like, I could get it for you because I spent enough money in these spaces when street fashion was like on the early come up for us. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like a Nietzsche. People's going to look at this and be like, well, a Nietzsche and Miskeen. It's like, yeah, but it was never at that level to where it's in stores like this. I get a discount from these guys and I'll buy it at a discount and I'll give it to my friend and I'll pay myself out and everybody's happy. I didn't know that I was styling or even personal shopping at that type of point. You know, and I started building an accolade of like clientele. You know, like I was working for G-Star for a while and I'm from the nines. So a lot of people like GS9, like Bobby Smurda and them, like a lot of them was getting G-Star for me.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? And I'd even look at it like that.
When did that switch come where you were like, oh, I could turn this into a stream of income?
I was just helping friends. You know what I mean? People just know me. Like I could go from hood to hood to hood, which very few people was able to do. I was like the pastor. You know what I mean? Like you don't hurt the pastor that's going through or the messenger that's going through in different fields of war. You know what I mean? You respect it. And they just knew like, oh, he's mad cool. He's wild stylish. If you need something, he got you. You need some Louis, he got you. You need some D&Gs, he got you. Whatever it is, he got you. Wherever he got you. And that's just what it is because I always have access to get it. If not here in Italy, if not here in Italy and in Japan, wherever, because I've made like connections more than anything, friendships that, you know, if they need something here, I got you. You know what I mean? One hand washes the other. And that's how it's always been. So I always have this clientele basis and people that help me.
I'm hearing a lot of community. I'm hearing a lot of just relationship connections. And when it comes to fashion and just even business, I think some people forget that business is relationships. It's truly, like you said, you know, I wash your bag, you wash mine. It's an agreement. I mean, which is super cool. That's the type of stuff that I think I missed out. And I think a lot of people missed out on coming up in fashion, right? Like I had my own experiences, but they weren't as rooted in community. They weren't rooted in just building relationships. And so trying to get back to that, you know, or even just discover that, you know, where would you start? Like now, given that there's so much technology, that there's so many options.
That question I get asked almost every day. Like, because like I would go into stores and like people will flock to me, and I mean this in the most humblest of ways. And I know the level of gatekeeping, and I know the level of tokenism that's in the game, where like there's enough to share around. Give these guys information to help them out. Like I walked into a consignment spot, right, that have like pieces in there, and I made a relationship with the managers there, where like if they need pieces, they could hit me up because I have stuff from like archival runway that if they need in the store, we could work out something where like you get your piece, I get my piece, that would generate people to come in. And some of the workers will come and ask me like, yo, how can I get on and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Look, you have access to clothes here, right? Talk to your manager, talk to whoever, see if you're able to wear some of these clothes, take some flicks, start a page. You could actually sell this stuff here for a higher price than what they have here. If they're selling this piece here for 500, sell it for 8. You know what I mean? Put it on the page like, yo, I'm selling this for 800, even though this piece is worth like $3,000. Somebody will come and buy it for 8, you get your 3, they get their 5, everybody's happy. And you could start doing that, you know, to a point where it becomes like natural to you. And you build up a clientele like that. Because my clientele are like older men who are closer to retiring and in their 40s that are well off, but they don't want to look like the oldest teenager. You know what I mean? It's a weird transition for men in their like late 30s to their 40s because they don't want to wear the Mary jeans. They don't want to do the tight jeans situation. And it's like, okay, I got it. I got you. So they give me a stipend of money and I get what they want. Plus I add a little bit on top of whatever they want and everybody's happy. You know what I mean? I audit their closet. I'm in control of like styling and whatever it is. Like if they have an anniversary, if they have a party, if they have an event, or just for the, you know, for the fuck of it, if they want to be like, yo, I want to start a whole new look. Could you help me out with this?
Got
Cool.
you.
You know what I mean? Like I have one client, right? Oh, I don't like baggy jeans. I like it nice and like, all right, cool. He wanted tapered, right? Not tight, but just tapered. All right, cool. So I'm like, what is it that you like? He tells me his brands, he tells me his budget, and I could see what is it that he wants. I look at the texture, I look at the silhouettes, I look at all these things. And I start to be like, okay, I could change a palette on certain things. So I got him these Yoji pants that could go from tapered to baggy because it has like these zippers going down the side that could switch. And then all of a sudden, this man can't get enough of baggy jeans now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just knowing what your client likes. Like I watch a lot of stylists, they will meet somebody, right? And all they're doing is taking their clothes off of their body, their style off of their body, and putting it on that person rather than building a style that matches their aesthetic or matches their personality.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just very copy paste. It's like a package.
Yeah.
Like I stopped messing with a lot of rappers, especially like American based rappers, because like there's no money in there. And there's a lot of playing and there's a lot of like thievery. There's a lot of stuff going on, which I don't have the time or the capacity to deal with. So like when they meet me, they want to do the whole tight jeans business and the pants hanging off your ass. And I don't want to put my name on that. If you want me to get you the piece, I'll get it for you. I don't want the credit. I just want the money. You could take that. I go my way, you go your way, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But it's sad. You know, I can't watch that. Like I want to dress an artist, not a rapper. Like I would like to dress like a Skepta. I would like to dress like a Burna Boy. I would like to dress people like Automodel Black, somebody of that nature who would respect the fashion and really like own it.
Yeah.
You know, like a look.
You brought up something that was kind of interesting, which is, you're talking to a bunch of different people. You're talking all the way from artists to rappers to,
It's a lot
dads.
because I'm not with an agency. Remember, like I'm freelancing. Like everything that I'm doing is like on my own. I don't have any help, and I don't ask for help. I give people help. I don't ask for help. Like I'm in leagues with people who are doing things during the industry and stuff like that. I'm watching and I learn. I observe.
How much longer do you think you can do that for?
Well, that's what I'm trying to change right now. I'm expanding my range on things, like leaning into what it is. Like I just told you, for a very long time, I didn't know I was styling. I didn't know I was personal shopping. I thought I was just helping people.
Yeah.
It was an easy way for me to get money because I worked retail. I did the whole intern thing for G-Star and the whole, it's a lot of work. And when I stepped away from that for a while, it was a calling for me because it was second nature.
Mm.
You know, you understand? Like that's what people know me for, like my entire life.
Mm.
Like I've always been this person. You could call somebody from like 2003, they'll tell you like, yeah, he's always been that guy. Like whatever it is you need. Sometimes he'll just hit you off with a piece just for the fuck of it because it was just sitting there and he don't want to look at it no more.
Yeah.
And he feels like you will really kill this.
It's cool that you were able to find your brand, right? I think a lot of times that's what I'm trying to do myself is like, what's my brand? Similar to style, versus just like copy and pasting. It's really like, so what's your style? Like figuring out that essence that makes you.
I say explore.
Yeah.
I say explore. And whilst you're exploring, there's going to be things that don't work for you and things that work for you. Like let's say that you got into the minimalist thing, right? You probably like the corsets or something like that. It's very simple. You like the color blocks and stuff like that. Take that, you can apply that to another side where you want to dress sharp, but you could do that in a more minimalist way.
Yeah. I want to talk about that specifically because I agree that we should experiment, figure out who we are, discovery, etc.
With no shame.
No shame, but also how do you do it in a sustainable way? How do you go about it and, not spend a whole bunch of money
on
a pile of clothes you don't like.
This goes out to, I'm not gonna call his name, but this goes out to my young bucks, right? So I taught people like buy things that appreciate with value, meaning like pieces. Like think of it as art. If you buy something that's like fast, it's not going to sell. It's not going to have a good resale on things. And I'm not talking about like Jordans and stuff like that. I'm talking about like Raf. I'm talking about good Rick. I'm talking about good Comme des Garçons. You know what I mean? I'm talking about good Yoji, like pieces like that. Like if you know you buy this now for like, say, let's say you even get it on sale for like 300 or even low as 2,
Yeah.
right? And you know the worth of this is 25. You could put it up somewhere for like $1,900, resell that, take that money that you just resell this piece for, buy back the piece that you originally have, and you have pieces to expand. You don't ever, just keep that there. Don't go outside of your pocket. So I have like kids that I taught that to where like their mom ain't buying that stuff for them. You know what I mean? And I know what it's like. Again, I was fortunate enough to have a job at a young age to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So I always try to put people on so they don't have to go outside and do something stupid to get some money.
That's my biggest thing is like finding pieces that appreciate or even just slowly, depreciate things that have resale value because
like Raf did something with Prada, right?
Yeah.
And they have this like bomber jacket with the same inside. You know what I'm talking about? It has the bomber jackets that come in leather, it comes in nylon. Those jackets go for like 10 grand, 20 grand. The lowest I saw it for is like 6 grand, right? Let's say that you happen to luck up and buy it for 2 grand, right? You buy it for 2 grand. Again, you could resell that for what I just told you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just treat it well, keep it
right.
well.
I mean, that's a big thing. I'm going through my closet right now and I'm looking at some pieces that, I bought years ago that have been they've been good to me, right? And like I've used them, but it's always too like now as, taste cycles through, I was into, and it happened when I was younger, I was into more of the fitted look. Now that I'm like older, wiser, bigger, I'm kind of like, these things make me feel restricted. I don't feel free in this anymore. So I've been thinking like, how can I strategize and get the most money for some of these items?
You could rework it.
I didn't think about that.
Like I bought this Archival Rick Owen jacket, right? He rarely does any color. He usually does like stone black, maybe like a gunmetal gray. That's as far as it goes with like most of the colors that he does. If he does anything that's higher than that, it's like upscale 9,000, 16,000 realm, right? And I got it for like 5. The original price value of it is like what, 4,000. I didn't like it pink. At first, I didn't like it pink, but I was like, fuck it. For that price, I'll like it. And then I wore it, and then I'm like, behind my head, I'm thinking Majin Buu, right? I'm thinking Frank Ocean, Pink Matter. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck it. I'll rock it for a little while pink. Right. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to dye this motherfucker. And I dyed it purple. Now I'm walking down the street. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Because they never saw a purple Rick Owen jacket. So I'm the only one in existence with it. It's like, make it yours. You know what I mean? Like, make it yours.
That's interesting. I said that. I said this once before. If you don't like, if you want to buy something, let's just say like the Louis Vuitton, just a collaboration with Tim's, and the Tim's, I'm sure they're gonna be going for at least 1 or 2 stacks.
More than that. You spoke it.
I'm hoping it's not too crazy because I would love to own a pair, but
let's just go for maybe like 5 grand.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For all the people that can't afford the 5 grand, I'm like, get the regular Timbs and customize them.
That's the thing. Like, the average person isn't buying that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's up there like that, because they're trying to bring back exclusivity to luxury brands. But whilst they're doing that, is a lot of tomfoolery going on. Meaning that the quality is going down, but they're upping the price and they're lowering the quantity. So the average person doesn't have access to it. Chanel is doing that right now.
I just feel like what gets me is the lowering of the quality.
Yeah.
Like, and with the internet, authenticate, all these technology to actually figure out the fabric choice of these brands, where it was actually made. Normal people have this information now.
Yeah, the quality is so low is that people who fake things, right? could make it to the exact T, to the point they're not able to tell. That's why the Real got in trouble the way it did, because they weren't able to tell at a certain point. Even Cartier glasses, they just announced, I think 2 years ago or last year, that most jewelry stores are not even buying it because they can't even tell the difference.
That's crazy.
Same thing with what's the Ryan Cleef or
Van Cleef.
Yeah, same thing with that. It's like it's gotten to that point. Even Bape, right? If you know about Bape, Nigo was like so ingenious with this, right? Every year he slightly changes the Bape head, so the people who fake these fake Bape, they're not able to keep up. So you're able to tell.
Got you. And you can trace it back to the year that the collection that it belongs to, so you can really like validate its authenticity.
I'm like this close to going back to fucking with Bape to show niggas how to really do it. You know what I mean? Because it was like, shout out to my man's Kwame, who was like original Bape head on some shit. Like we used to be down there like crazy.
That's crazy. I honestly, like, I remember when Bape was popular back when like Soulja Boy, was talking about it, and that was kind of my first introduction.
Before there was the Bape, so there was a place, I forgot what it was called, man. That's how long ago it was. It was this is before the Stussy store, before Billionaire Boys Club. That place was the first place where you could go buy ice cream and Billionaire Boys Club and Bape like stuff like that. Before they
not V-Files.
Nah, it's not V-Files. I'll get damn. It starts with an O or something. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, they sold like cars. They sold Stussy in there, but like season 1, season 0, like Bape. And I love the quality. Like that was the first and only clothing line that I like Pharrell in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like the quality. Because remember, skateboarder, right? You have to be able to do kick flips and all this other stuff. So the quality have to be there.
Exactly.
The bagginess had to be there, and like it has to be able to take and withstand skateboarding.
Yeah.
And also be stylish. But after a period of time, after like Terry Kennedy and all these other guys left, it just went to like.
Is there anyone who you think is doing it well right now when it comes to streetwear, when it comes to quality, when it comes to relevance?
Zam Barrett, Jamaican designer out in Brooklyn.
Oh, really? Is he independent or does he go by?
He's independent.
Okay.
I really like his clothes because he understands the whole thing with fashion in totality. He has a factory, right, where people like Schiaparelli, Gucci, even Rick Owen comes to him because he's the only one within the whole of New York that understands how to make these things from the knowledge and the wisdom that he's had over the period of years of him indulging as a fashion designer, as a pattern maker, or just as a person. And when I see some of the pieces, I'm like, you're like really talented, all the way down to like the functionality of the clothes. Like, let's say if I was to go to Margiela, right? Margiela is mainly targeted towards Asians. This is why you see the closed shoulders and the arms are not so long like that. This is why you see a lot of clothes that's like oversized, but it's mainly targeted towards Asians. This is why you see a lot of tabbies with them. Margiela's like always this close or in bankruptcy, and the only reason why they're always it's true. I'm not lying. It's facts. You could Google this shit. It's facts. This is tangible evidence. You could go look this up yourself.
Oh man,
right?
Now on the brink of bankruptcy.
They always think about it. Everything that they have is tabby.
I also don't know I don't know how fashion brands make money. Honestly, that stuff
money laundering.
It confuses me.
Where the dope at?
That and like exploiting.
Yeah, COVID
supply chain.
COVID really did a number, and what I think is that there's enough like designers that they could actually talk to. I think they need to really interact with the consumer.
Yeah, because
every brand is like literally either close to bankruptcy or they're on like. They're in it already. Yeah. Because nobody's able to afford these things, typically what they're putting out. You're putting out $5,000 like hoodies and $1,000 t-shirts, like gallery department, right? Putting out $1,000 like white tees. Like, tell me you're not money laundering without telling me you're money laundering. Like, who's buying this? And it's reworked Old Navy clothes that they're doing.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you go in, I went to Saks a couple of times, right? And I looked at their clothes, and sometimes they leave the Old Navy tag on the inside. I'm like, this is deplorable. This is God tier deplorableness, like right here. This is like, there needs to be an indictment on this type of shit.
No.
And they're selling the jeans for $2.
But that blows me. I mean, I always think like, how do we get here? Like, how
Fast
did
fashion.
we? Well, fast fashion is,
and that doesn't help,
nah.
especially when we're trying to. The whole fight is that we're trying to bring Black luxury. Name a Black luxury brand.
Laquan Smith. I would say Theophilio.
When I say Black luxury, I'm talking about something that appreciates with value when you buy it. The quality is there, the silhouette is there, the fabric is there. Everything, like, it just makes sense. I mean, as a piecey piece, you could damn near put it on the wall. You feel guilty about putting it in your closet.
That's a tough one. I mean, I don't think there's enough that has existed long enough to even test that theory out. Like, maybe, I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe a Telfar bag is sold at a higher price than what it is initially.
But again, that's their niche. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they know their demographic and what they want to keep it as. Right. Cool. That's fine. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I love it for them. But I'm saying, let me use something like denim tears, for example, right? If I'm going to spend that level of money on a denim tear jean, I would want it to have embroidery, not screen print, and not have it be Levi. I would outsource and get a jean factory and make my own jean, my own silhouette, my own cuts.
But like, no one's really doing that.
Why not?
It's definitely capital. Like, capital is one thing, but also just like the knowledge, I don't think is there. Nor do
the knowledge is there.
I think some kids.
If Zam is doing it and he's by himself, he's independent, he's doing it.
I don't know. Does his stuff appreciate though over time?
Yeah,
that's the real question.
He has a very strong following that buys his stuff, and like I said, Gucci reaches out to him to do things.
Then that really brings a onus on us to do that research to learn more about these independent designers. I don't think there's enough of that going on.
Yeah, because there's a lot of influencing. And me, I'm not an influencer, I'm a defluencer. Like, I go against the grain with certain things. You're not going to sell me shit, especially when you know it's shit. They're paid to tell you that it's the shit. Right. You get what I'm saying?
But not many people can spot quality. That's also the other issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's a huge gap in what sells a garment versus what you need to know about a garment for it to truly, like,
you don't have to have a lot of money to have good quality shit.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I come from a Caribbean household where, like, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money, but everything within the household was of quality, all the way down to the couch, the fridge, the stove, the curtains, the bed sheets. Everything was of quality.
Now that stuff is vintage. Now that a lot of that stuff is really seen as quality vintage pieces, decor.
And that's where we push to now, because nobody's really able to afford this stuff. They're to the point where we gotta do vintage shit.
Or even just like the shit that's out now is just, like you said, made out of cheap fabric. Like, why not go for something vintage?
It's gotten to the point where I think it was Bottega. You see, everybody has the Carhartt jacket situation now.
Yeah.
Bottega got a jacket that looks exactly like a Carhartt jacket, and they're selling that motherfucker for like $9,000. Which you could actually go get a Carhartt jacket for like $30, $50. Now, even still, because of the over exaggeration of everybody wearing it, now you're buying it for like $200, which it should never be. And that's actually for the workman.
And I also heard the quality went down because demand goes up. You can't actually maintain the quality because it takes a lot more to actually do it the right way.
We as the people have to demand that. But when you indoctrinate people to not give a fuck, right, they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I recently learned a term called consumer engineering. And that, when I put when you like know something, but there's finally now a word for it, and you're like, oh shit, like that's what I've been thinking about, like, you know,
like emotional intelligence.
yeah, I mean that too, but it was just crazy that, you know, this one guy was like, oh yeah, like art and industry together can help, like can force people to just want more things. They are going to be enamored by this like new art inspired product because they've never seen it before. It's new to them. You know, you're exposing people to artists and they're like, oh, that looks cool, whatever. And that is now like ingrained in our DNA to like new things.
Yeah.
And never like spend enough time to really, I mean, these pants I have on right now, they're Dion Lee. And I haven't even for real like looked at the composition yet. And even just how it's sewn, because I was thinking about getting doing something to it, but I'm like, what is this?
I would dye it burgundy or something.
Burgundy? Why burgundy?
Any color I want. It doesn't have to be burgundy. It could be Jubilee green if I want to.
Okay.
I wouldn't do black.
See, I love the color black though.
I love it too, but I'm trying to step out of that a little bit. I'm adding more color to my palette because I got lost in the sauce. Let me not say lost in the sauce, but I wear a lot of like Rick Owen.
Yeah.
And I wear a lot of Raf, and I tend to, and Yoji. So I usually go towards like a lot of that clothes is like black. But I know my colorway, and I'm trying to like put things on my skin with like more texture.
Yeah.
You know, textile, stuff like that.
I love the color black. I mean,
yeah, it's power.
And even the brands that you were just naming, like those, whenever I think of the color black, I think of those brands who have really like made that a part of their design philosophy. And
it forces you to get into design and detailing because it lacks color.
Exactly. I was just about to say, when you take things, like when you remove color from it, all of a sudden now you're looking at like the actual construction of the garment.
That's why I feel like, honestly, I feel like the people from Fear of the God needs to go over to like Yoji and just study a little bit, like see what's going on, because it's like I like their brand, but the price point makes no sense from essential to this. You know what I mean? It's like the spectrum makes no sense. There's no in between. There is no in between.
There is no in between.
Like when you look at like Rick, right? There's dark shadow and there's mainline. The difference between mainline is maybe a couple $100, depending on what it is. It could be a couple grand or whatever, but you're still able to afford the dark shadow.
Right.
But the essentials is like 100, and then now it's like 100, 150, maybe even 200. But this is like $8,000.
It's actually quite insane.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is not even camel hair. This is like mohair, and you're asking for $8,000.
But also, like, are these made in different factories?
I don't care what factory. I don't care if it was made in Willy Wonka's factory. There's no price point that you could sell me this stuff for like $8,000. It doesn't work.
It's crazy. And I love essentials, like the cut of their clothes is good from like a tall boy, like big guy perspective. That's the one thing.
The runway stuff looks good, but how many stores have you actually walked into and see it? You don't see it. You mostly see essential. You don't really see a lot of this stuff. This stuff don't always sell.
Even at like,
it's a hard thing to sell.
Or like Saks.
And there's like, barely anything on those racks.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
You see like 3 jeans, 1 jacket, that's it. All the stuff you see on the runway, where's it at? Where am I seeing it? It's not being seen.
I mean, and he's not like couture, so it's not like you're doing one-on-ones for like your clients. In an ideal world, you should have like outlets.
Yeah.
Shit to come out. I don't really see it that much. I do see a lot of essentials. I do purchase a lot of essentials because that's...
But there's a lot of brands that's coming out that I like. Like this is one brand that I paid attention to maybe like 2 years ago. It's Tom Bogo. Right?
I've heard of that brand. I haven't purchased anything, but yeah.
Really good. The first time I saw it was in a store named Seed.
Oh, yes.
In Brooklyn.
That's my joint.
I've been in there maybe like once or twice. Shout out to Izzy.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
Yeah, I went in there and I really liked
That's why I sent you those boots. And I was like, I'm not to get...
I saw the pants and I was like, I was a bit heavier and I was like, they didn't carry anything really over a size 34. I was like, fuck, I need a 38. You know what I mean? Or 40. But when I saw them, I was like, hold on, this comes off? He's like, yeah, you could put it on this one. You could put 2 on one, 2 and 2. You can take it off completely. I like the functionality of it because remember, I used to work for G-Star. And that time and point, G-Star was like it for me when it came to like jeans because of they're under the brand called, not the brand, but the corporation Denim Wall, which is like Levi, Gap, who else? Guess. They're under Denim Wall. And they get designers to work on different jeans, and you get to see like they do video stills, they do pictures, they do interviews, and they only worked with like very innovative people before they started putting like Pharrell and Diddy and putting Burna Boy. Not complaining about Burna Boy, like that's my guy. Or like even what's Will Smith's son name? Jaden Smith. Like even him, he had access to it. You know what I mean? And it was like, these ain't good jeans. This is not making sense. You know what I mean? This is like very like away from what they're originally doing. You know what I mean? Like the functionality of the jeans, like just going like this, it felt easier just moving in the jeans. You felt free. It could be something that is super tight and you still felt free. That's how well engineered the jeans were. Like you didn't feel like you were wearing stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So for people who are listening, where should they go to find quality? Where can they discover brands of quality that you'd recommend? And B, where are those places if they can go?
So I was talking to a friend of mine. His name is Abba. He works for 2nd Street Consignment, right?
Yeah.
He's a manager there. And I know a couple of the managers like at these spots, and again, another spot they hit me up asking me for pieces to put in their store because they're like this close to becoming Buffalo Exchange if they're not careful, because they have people who are not into fashion doing the buys, and it shows within the store.
Interesting.
You understand? So you're not seeing things. You're seeing very hypebeast shit in here.
There's no curation.
None at all. You have people with no fashion dressing the mannequins. You have people that's not with no style, like doing the buys, and it doesn't make sense. Like person like me comes in here, I'm not looking for like Off-White. I'm not looking for like what's it called, Hellcat and all this other. I'm not looking for that. That's not my milieu. You know what I mean? I'm looking for like good shit. You know what I mean? I'm looking for some Marnie. I'm looking for some Tom Bogo. I'm like put some other pieces within here that's not like hype.
Yeah, because I feel maybe the hype stuff is where like it starts to cheapen a bit, and they start to make cut corners because they're relying kind of on
exactly, and they don't. It doesn't appreciate with value. And he was talking to me about it, and I've seen designers go to stores like All Saints, or they do something at Saks, and they have like curated racks with their name on it saying that this person styled, or this person, like their pics from out the store. You know what I mean? So it tells you like, oh, this person knows the quality is good, the cut is good, all these things. I feel like they should get away from the influencers and actually get to the people who's actually into that type of stuff, reach out to them and start curating racks where people that they value their opinion, they could go inside and check it out and see it itself.
I read I love that point, because I even read something maybe years ago that we're moving away from influencers and content creators, and they're moving towards industry experts, people who are like actually knowledgeable in these things and using their platform and aligning their brand with those people.
And it's hard to fish through because everybody wants to have an opinion. Right. I'm not saying that opinion shouldn't be heard or it's not valid, but sometimes it's not valid.
I mean, I find it hard to follow anyone nowadays, to be very honest. There's a lot of people, no matter their background, their ethnicity, their race, in fashion, who I will go onto their page and I'll try and do some research before I hit the follow button, just because I want to find people who are really doing the work and helping me break out of like old ways of thinking and think more like an expert in the field, looking at a piece of looking at a garment and being like, well, this is shit. Because I want to start, I see my closet as an investment. I see my closet as, each piece is like an asset.
Mm.
An asset to me for sure, at the very least. But if anything, it could be also an asset out in the market that later on I can say, yeah, like this is a quality, et cetera, from this brand. You're not going to be able to find it. It's a one of one. And that to me, I think just speaks volumes about the power of style and how it can help you navigate fashion.
I used to have a brand called One of One. And again, what I provide is exclusivity, because the reason why most people spend that level of money is to not look like the other person. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's just what it was. I wear glasses in real life. So I used to wear Kazals, and this is before like Rick Ross. But when he started wearing them, I felt away because everybody just started wearing them.
Yeah.
So I moved away from that. Or I tried to go to a different number, and then I started seeing people go to the same number, and then I'm like, fuck that. Let me get away from it completely. Then I started wearing gray ants. Then people started wearing gray ants. I said, all right, I'm going to up the ante and start getting customized glasses because I want to look like myself. I want my own identity.
Yeah. Especially with, I've personally been trying to still figuring out what is my next. Because I do feel just similarly like how we both like the color black. But you're saying, I need to expand. I need to
I like all the colors now. It depends on how you make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like there's a way. I think sometimes like when I'm trying to figure out what's that next evolution, I try and be very discerning with my influences. The things that I look at, I expose myself to when I'm looking for style.
Well, Yoji said something along the lines years ago where he said he doesn't do social media. He doesn't even do television because you could be influenced without you even knowing. And he doesn't want that at all when it comes to him designing. So sometimes you could just take a break from social media or just do a cleanse for yourself.
Or touch grass.
Touch grass.
Go outside.
Yeah, go outside. Go to go to stores that you didn't think you'll find something at. You'll be very surprised. Like, for example, right? I was in Japan for a little while, and I was actually about to live out there because I wanted to start a consignment situation because of what I was doing down here. I kid you not, I bought a ticket a week later. Not even a week, like a couple days, I'm supposed to be in Japan. Then COVID hit. Like, it was, I like the, I love the culture out there. I love the fashion out there. I love the quality of living. I just love the quality of their clothes. Like, everything was just it for me at that time and point. And what happened was the stuff out there, if it's based out there, is going to be cheaper. Like CDG, Yoji, Johnny Watanabe. Things like that's going to be cheaper. So like even Bape out there is cheaper. Like a Bape hoodie out here maybe still might be, I don't know if it went up. I knew in my time out here is like $400, $500 up here, right? Down there is like $2 something. So I could do the same thing I'm doing up there down here. And I had access to like Prada and stuff like that. And Prada is very expensive out there. Just for a simple shoe is like $1,500. Down here, it might run me about like $600. Like, not me, but like retail might run about like $800. I'm able to get it for like maybe like $4 something. I already made the shop money. The shop money just to own a shop out there is like $500 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
I just made it without one sale and everything I could pocket. So it's like why not? Like I was this close to like moving out there.
That's wild. Life would have been so different.
They have stores, right? I can't remember the name. I could actually try to call right now. They have stores out there that feels like Disneyland for clothes. Like nothing on the rack is a filler. Nothing on the rack is bullshit. Everything is pieces everywhere. And I just loved it. I was like, yo, this is what's going on out here? I was like, this is crazy. I was like, y'all been withholding shit. Yeah. I was like, what are we doing out there?
They're gatekeeping.
Yeah, I'm like,
they're gatekeeping.
I'm like, everything with them is just an experience.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. And actually, I didn't get into Raf until I got over there. I saw this exact jacket out there and it was selling for like $15,000. I was like, ooh, take this off of me, child. I said, here. I said, this is yours.
Yeah. Don't get me
You gonna
tied up
charge
in
me for
that.
this lint? I'm good. I'm good. And then when I got over here, I just I made a lot of access, like, and connections over there where like I get stuff from over there too, like Rick and stuff like that because of Peter. So I'm able to get like ostrich shoes. I'm able to get sea wolf and all this other stuff. Like iguana, which is like very looked down upon over here. You're not going to get like a croc jacket that's like Rick from over here, from down here, up there.
The quality
is way different.
Yeah, I think I remember. I don't remember the instance, but I was talking to someone about that because of some of the regulations that we have. That's why we get cheap stuff.
Mm-hmm. But they take advantage of that. They take complete advantage of that. And I used to wear like this was before Dema was like involved. I used to like Balenciaga when they started to transition into streetwear more, like when they first came out with like the triple S's and stuff like that. I was digging it. I had access to it. I was getting stuff before it dropped, and I was indulging in that realm because it was like, how can I say? It was very forward for me because the artist that they had to come to create the triple S is the same guy, I believe, that created the fusions for the Margiela. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What he basically does is take a bunch of sneakers and make it into one. It's like, again, art.
Yeah.
And then it just started this snowball effect of just doing the same shit over and over. It's like, God damn. And then when Dema came about, it's like, and Kanye, it just started to be a whole lot of fuckery. Like garbage bags, $1,700, and it's a carry bag. And it's like the towel situation. And it's like, yo, I went in the store just to see the towel itself. And then I went to Walmart. Not Walmart, I'm lying. I went to Target. And I'm like, the towel in Target has a higher thread count than the towel that they're charging you $1,700 or $2,000 for. I'm like, this is highway robbery. They're just doing fuckery to people, and people just like, they're not saying anything. They're just buying it. If nobody buys it, they will stop making it.
Exactly.
You know that saying, build it and they will come? Do not come. Do not come.
Do not come. What
they doing? I'm gonna come.
That's the crux of my issue with fashion is that people are so gullible.
Yeah, because they're followers. There's a reason why they're called influencers. Their job is to influence people to think the same.
That is I thought it was a joke, even with the Lay's.
Oh, it's not a fucking joke.
With the Lay's bag that Demna was walking around, and I'm just like, I think it was like $2,000, something like that. I'm like, who's
buying this?
That's my always question. Like, who is the target?
Who do I see in real life buying this shit? And again, it's a social experiment to see if we're going to keep buying the shit and the lowest quality of what they could possibly do.
Yeah.
And other brands are paying attention to it and say, shit, we could do the same. I told you, gallery department is doing the same.
Yeah.
And there's other brands that's doing that. Like they're buying $2 vintage tees and they're stamping their name on it and selling it for like $200. That's not fashion. That's robbery.
See, and this is why we're having this conversation, because it's just, people need to wake up to the fact that these brands are taking your money.
Yeah.
They're like legit taking your money, and you kind of are just,
and they're exploiting Black culture whilst doing it too. That part too.
I mean, that's
and don't even give back to the Black community neither. They exploit the fuck out of it, but they won't even give back.
This is why I always tell people, like, you should care about what you put on your back, because you're a walking advertisement for these brands. So you're wearing this shirt, mind you, they're exploiting the hell out of, this, a lot of countries taking literally their culture, not just like Black American culture, but African cultures or even like Caribbean cultures. Like they're doing all of that, packaging it up, watering it down
Mm.
simultaneously and then feeding it to us like it's new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild.
Yeah. Brands I like that are black that are not doing that, that is like very good to me and I like a lot. Art comes first, right?
Yeah.
Love them a lot. BK Circus, love
Love
them a lot.
BK Circus.
I watched them from the very beginning and I'm watching the transitioning that they're doing and I love it. It's very Americana meets black luxury meets like just art.
And staple
Yeah.
pieces that won't age.
Mm-hmm.
They don't age. Like you probably could buy something today
It's the black,
and it'll still be relevant.
is like the black Ralph Lauren to me.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. BK Circus
It
is
gives
a really
like
good
Wesley
one.
Snipes, like Spike Lee, like their bomber jackets are the best. I went in there the other day. Shout out to Malik, and they have this like reworked sweater vest that I liked. I was like, yo, this shit is hard, and it's all black.
Yeah.
And the detailing on this shit, I'm like, yo, this shit is fired. I'm like, I'm trying to get away from all black right now, and I'm like, I want this.
Give
And
in.
I was, they go, we're gonna make another one for you. I'm like, all right, do that. I need that.
Okay.
You know, I'm like,
Trying to be on Will's time.
like Zam, I told you. Who else? Oh, Y Project.
Y Project is great.
Love them.
That's art. Like I feel like those pieces are actually art. And they, unlike Fear of God, they actually you can go to the store.
I'm wearing Y Project right now. Like
those jeans?
Yeah. These jeans are Y
are
Project. Like I could fix it to how I want and adjust it to how I want instead of consistently just going like this to get the right, you know what I mean?
That
like you
is
could,
that
this
stuff.
right here, this jeans right here, is a stylist dream. Like you don't have to do or edit anything in the picture. You could just literally do what you want. It goes well. A lot of their jeans go well with like dress shoes and things of that
they
nature.
Have good denim. And that's I feel like once people start getting like it's good to get into some brands as references. Like Y Project is a great reference for when you're looking for clothes that can look different and it's the same garment and you can style it effortlessly in different ways and be the sharpest person in the room because they made their clothes to be like dynamic and adaptable.
Odalinger, love them too. Like, for example, right? I go on Essence and I just browse. Like when I'm bored, I just browse just to see. And I have an eye, so I'm able to tell just from the pictures, and I'm paying attention to, you know, where it says like the model's 6'2" and he's wearing size medium. And I'm watching, and I'm like, all right, cool. I know the human body. I know what 6'2" is. I'm like, all right, this shit would fit me. I know if I could wear like an oversized medium to a double XL.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially if some things are like runway. Most things are like sample, where it's like, you know, these models are like wide and tall, so most of the things fit like very oversized.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and I'm just looking at these new brands. Like, you know which brand I'm looking at right now? Ludan.
Ludan. I don't think I've heard of Ludan.
If I'm not mistaken, how Lee would say, Usher Raymond, that the whole thing he was wearing for the that was Ludan. The whole thing was Ludan.
Which one?
Everything he was wearing on
not the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, yes.
Not the Super Bowl.
Yes, it was.
That was not Ludan.
Yes, it was.
You lying.
I promise you. Even her was wearing Ludan. That long trench coat is Ludan. Black.
Okay.
This year, I want to give it like the Latinos are really killing it when it comes to design.
Oh, I love Willie Travaria. Man, how I learned about Willie Travaria, I was working in Century 21 downtown. Back then, do you remember Next Century?
Yeah.
So I actually started working there in 2018. Was working at Next Century and I saw a batch of Willie Travaria come in. And I'm very big on silhouettes. Like I am very big on the way that shirts just lay on my body. I hate short sleeves. I hate things that just don't make me feel free. And Willie Travaria, we had a couple of SKUs from them. And
he's a real designer. And real designers understand the human body. When you understand the human body, you have to understand how things fall.
Yes.
It's important. It's imperative. Based on where clothes are, it's going to be on that demographic. Like, I'm going to go back to G-Star, right? when you look at the forearms, it's very long. Those people from Denmark, they have longer like elbows and arms and stuff like that. So this is why it's like the arms are long, and that's why the shoulders are like this, and that's why the legs go. That's why the length of the jeans are able to go to length 40 instead of like 32, because they're very tall and lanky. You know what I mean? Depending on where you are. So like him being as short as he is, he understands that it has to fall in such a way.
And I don't think people know that, like, it's not you, it's the clothes you're
Mm-hmm.
buying. Like, you just gotta you gotta be able to, maybe even look at the runway and see how the clothes fall on the models. Then you go onto the website, do that additional work, and then you purchase it. Then you like actually, or go in the store and try it on.
Did anybody's runway show caught you in the last 3 years? Because it hasn't really for me. It's only maybe this year, maybe. I want to say the two that really caught me, Bottega and the show that Margiela did where it was like it was Jack the Ripper-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the
Oh yeah,
prostitution and the pubic hair and all this other
that
stuff.
was like
with
the
the
artisanal
porcelain
collection for
Mhm.
Margiela, and that one was good. I also I think Bottega has Prada used to be my favorite brand. I think Bottega has now really jumped up there, and
Anti like a motherfucker.
I just feel like because they don't even have a social media presence, it just adds to my appreciation of them. Which is
Mhm.
kind of wild to say, like, because they're not on social, I love it. But
When it comes to
it's
luxury
true.
and quality, I don't think anybody has them beat.
Bottega,
Correct.
they're really good.
The artisanal work that they have on their bags are crazy. It's just top tier. I can't think of anybody that comes close
Yeah.
at all.
I don't think there's a show.
Like that's closest from farm to table in that analogy you could possibly get when it comes to quality when is Bottega.
Yeah.
But the price point is really fucking high.
I know.
And again, I'm not mad at them. It's again exclusivity.
I'm not mad either.
They don't want what everybody else is doing. They're very different. They're not into fast fashion. They're not even close to it.
No.
Prada's closer to fast fashion. Not saying anything's wrong with Prada. I love Prada.
Yeah.
Especially when Raf was there. He made it make sense. You know, his whole thing is simplicity. You know, bringing luxury to just the simplest thing.
Yeah.
You know, like a bomber jacket, different inside where it's silk on the inside, on the outside is ostrich or something like that. You know, where I really like that type of like over bagginess and like, oh, I could dress this up, I could dress this down. I could take this anywhere I want. Actually, I could even wear this jacket to a wedding if I want to.
Speaking of weddings, there's one brand that I can't get out of my head is GmbH. They're a German brand. And they had this one collection, I think it was in 2021. And they had these coats or jackets that had kind of like wide straps that zip onto the actual jacket. You could take off the straps if you want, but it zips. So it's like this additional kind of like cut in the garment that to this day, I think about if I'm going to wear something to my wedding, it's going to be GmbH.
And there's another brand of I'm trying to remember the name. C2H4.
I've heard of it and I've seen some of their stuff. Quality
is good. Cut is good. Price is good. I like them.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's where I'm at. I'm at the in between where I'm seeing these brands and I'm like, okay, y'all are really doing y'all thing. Y'all are going down a different route. Y'all are trying to bring luxury down a bit to a realisticness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the price point should be $350, $400. If you're going up there with like 8, you're talking different level quality of grain of leather.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I'm spending anything over $500 or $600, it needs to be real leather. You could miss me with that whole vegan leather shit, or you know, oh, we're trying. It's like, no, you're not. You're trying to fuck people over and trying to sell something for $4,000 when it's vegan leather. I could never.
And half of it's just more plastic.
basically, and it doesn't
Eh,
appreciate with value over time with vegan leather.
I mean, Hermes. I think Hermes is like trying to roll out a lot of alternative leathers, but
And those are brands that just refuse to like get
yeah,
with the times.
yeah,
You know, like Burberry, Hermes, even what's his name, Bali. I don't. Mm-mm.
yeah. Burberry's a miss for me.
Again, there's enough designers for people to like tap into instead of tapping into these celebrity designers. It's like reach out to people who are actually really good.
Mm.
Who's that? Off White.
His name is Ebo or Edo. I don't know his like
He
full
was
name.
like an understudy for Virgil. And Virgil's the only one that gets a pass with the fast fashion because he was dying and he didn't let anybody or tell anybody. He kept it close to the jacket. So I get why everything was so fast paced with him, like he knew like his days was like numbered,
Yeah,
rest in peace, Virgil. But everyone else is like, no, no, this my grandmother used to tell me when you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too. And right now we're
mm.
dealing with the mud and more is to come if we keep on in this trajectory.
I mean, that's a lot. To be honest with you, like it's a lot, and I feel like the reason why we having this conversation is making space is kind of just to like acknowledge that there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, and ignorance is bliss, I say. When you know everything in like full totality, it's like a whirlwind of shit because it's like one wall, two wall, three wall, four wall. You got to break past all these walls, and it's another problem, and another problem, and another problem. And it's like it's really tough just being a designer or just even just a creative director or anything in the sort. It's like it's a lot you have to deal with. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. I'd rather be a pattern maker before I be a creative director or even a designer.
That's yeah. I was just reading somewhere that like
Pattern making is where the money is
exactly.
when it comes to fashion because a creative director is just for the shits and giggles. It's just a face that they put on it so they could sell the brand, like Supreme did with Tremaine. They know that he was very
Yeah,
hot, and he is hot at the moment. So they're like, let's hire him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I felt more could have been done.
for sure.
You know, and they got rid of him, or he stepped down,
I think he stepped down.
or he stepped down. Let's say he stepped down,
Yeah.
right? And somebody else is going to come in. They didn't just get one; they got two people to replace him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a girl. It's a girl and a guy, both white people, to replace him. And that's a job that could easily be taken away from you. But a pattern
Mm,
maker is someone that is able to tell you if something could be done on a scale that makes sense, that is affordable, or it
mm,
could be done. You can have the greatest idea if you want, because I'm gonna go back to G Store. When we go back to the corporate offices, there's a bunch of product that I see that never touched day of light or light of day. And I'm like, yo, this is hard. It was like, yeah, there was looking into this and it didn't make sense in the budget to put this out there because people's not going to be able to afford this and we can't mass produce this because the amount of leather and the grain and the denim and just like it takes people from Italy and Japan to come together. You have to be done in Italy first and then we ship it down to Japan for the leather and then it's just a lot of work and it's like so it just don't make sense. So
mm.
I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I can have this. He's like, yeah, you can have it. I'm like, oh shit. like like you look on the pieces, it says 1 out of 25 because it goes to like all of the corporate offices to like go over this and talk over it, to see if it's doable. Like I learned a lot, and I learned that from going to Zam's course and class because he taught me a lot of the industry because I knew the clothes, but not also like the politics of things, and he taught me a lot
Mm.
about that on that end.
What's one thing that you will never forget when it comes about fashion, like working in the industry?
Be nice to
Mm.
people no matter who they are.
People that work in fashion are mean.
Yeah, they watch Devil
Devil Wears
Devil Was Prada
Prada.
one time, and all of a sudden they think being the mean girl is it, and it's like it's not. It's like then you clearly didn't watch that movie at
That's my
all.
favorite movie.
Like
Not gonna hold
you
you.
clearly didn't watch it at all if that's the case, because that's not it anymore. And like I said, there's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of tokenism where like they feel like they need to be the only black person in the room and they
I
don't want you to
hate
be there.
that.
You know, it's like it's a lot of like even in the modeling world, right? You come in and you think you're getting paid a lot of money, which is like $3,000, right, to do a job. Cool, you're excited about it. Then nobody's telling you what they're getting paid. This person that's underqualified, that doesn't even have a portfolio even close to yours, is getting paid $40,000, damn near a down payment on a house, and you only got three. There's a black person there that's been around the space and is friends with these people. Want to be the only person. You know those Abercrombie and Fitch commercial, not commercial, but those ads where only one black guy, two
Yeah.
Asian guys, and the rest is white, and he's happy to be here. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? And it's like, why, bro? It's that you could be educating this person and bringing him up
Yeah.
to where he doesn't need to be in here for 9 years, only getting paid that $3,000, and you know this information, you're not shunning this out, but want to complain about the industry at the same time until it's you.
That's crazy.
Everybody's comfortable with it until it's fucking you. You know what I mean? It's like crazy to see. They don't know about all this fuckery that goes on in between. Like people show you like set life and all this other shit, and it's like they don't show you the dumb fuckery that they have to deal with on an average.
Oh my gosh.
They're
The
not
fashion industry is
they're
like,
not showing you the returns. They're not showing you people stealing. They're not showing you got to be chasing your money all the time from people and all this other stuff. It's a lot going on within that space. And it's like, are you really ready for that? Are you sure about that? You know what I mean? It's like it's not like firefighting. You know the consequences of being a
right.
firefighter. You're going to go into fire. You know what I mean? Like I think people like need to have a full blown TED talk on what to expect from indulging in that realm.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
And especially when it comes to like black, there's enough space for us. There's enough. You know, when it comes to editing, videography, anything that has to do with art. Because it's not like fashion isn't just the clothes. There's a lot of things that go into that. It could be fabric making, it could be dyeing, it could be a lot of like things. It could be like photography, it could be jewelry. There's a lot of things that go into fashion, you know, besides just the clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, just making it your own. You know, think for yourself. Like if you want to do things for yourself, like I like chrome hearts, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see myself buying chrome hearts unless I'm able to get it custom for myself. If I was to do something from chrome hearts, you know when it's good? When somebody does something personalized. Like, for instance, for example, I have grills, right? I take care of my teeth. I would like to get a chrome heart toothpick where I could take it out when I'm done eating. I could pick my teeth or some shit like
this
that.
Dude.
Simple things, but I don't have the level of money to be doing that or the access to be doing that. And the funny thing about it is you go to Japan, people clown people who wear, you know, chrome hearts because it's very like, look at me. You know what I mean? But down here, people fiend for it. You know what I mean? Paying this extravagant amount of money and looking like the next person. Instead, like, look at this, right? I told Chanel this and I looked at her, she has something called heavy metals. And she made this for me, right?
Oh, that's dope. It's like a
It's a sword. It's a sword.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's very personalized. And I'm like, damn, okay, I'm gonna get 3 more made, different swords, and put my relatives' names on there and everything. Even all the way down to my teeth. This is not regular. This is my grandmother's rings in my mouth.
That's what's up.
I don't wear like wristwatches, I don't wear rings, you know, I made rings, but I don't wear like earrings and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And I did this to myself and I have them permanently in my mouth.
What's like, I wanna catch up on that tip. Like, what's something that maybe you did when you were first getting into customizing your joints, or like what's something that someone can do if they are trying to develop that individuality, right?
So what I used to do, like just for the fuck of it, like let's say it was like I was a kid, right? I knew a bunch of artists who painted. And I had access. This is before L Train and all this was like overpopulated. Like only very few people. This is when leather jackets were like $30 before it went up to like $200 for a jacket because overpopulated in there. I used to go buy the jackets, go buy acrylic paint, and these people are doing big murals on the side of buildings, like talented artists. And I used to paint too as well, but I lost that, you know, by not practicing it as long as I should have. And I get them to paint the jacket. I pay them, and I sell the leather jacket. They will paint. It will be wearable art you could wear.
Yeah.
You don't hang it up in your closet. You hang it on your wall when you're done. When you're done wearing it. So it's an art piece. You know what I mean, from an artist. And it's like, yo, I saw myself doing exhibitions and shit like that, exhibits and shit. With that, and then I stopped because it was a lot of work. And plus, this is before the Biker Life with Meek Mills and stuff came out. This is way before then. If I knew that was coming, I could have still did that. But it was a lot of work dealing with that, just customization. Like right now, the stuff that Margiela is doing with the painted jackets, I've been doing that. With the painted jeans, I've been doing that. Dip dye, I've been doing that. Aging stuff, I've been doing that. All these things that I've been doing has a name for it, and I didn't know. I didn't know I was an ager dyer. That's an actual job. I learned how to dye. I learned how to age. I learned how to take out weft and all this other stuff from the jean, and distress it and all this other stuff. Make it your own. Like I had this jacket I got for like $20, real leather. I painted it white. Everybody and their mother thought it's Margiela, and it's a simple jacket from the 80s that I found in a thrift store for $20. And I'm gonna just fuck with your head and say, yeah, it is Margiela. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, I want it. And it's like, yeah, and it's like, you could literally do this yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be $12,000 for you to like it.
That's the biggest flex to me. Where is that? It's custom.
Yeah.
I was out
How Tess said, thrifted.
Thrifted.
That's just what it is. And it's like, somebody said to me the other day, well, there's no reason why you don't have like 60K following. And so I don't want 60K following. I don't have 60K following like money. I don't want that. I'm good on that. I know people with 1 million followers and they're not safe. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not something I want. I want 60K supporters. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between supporters and followers. And people that support actually do their due diligence. They don't just scroll and just mindlessly like. They actually interact with you. You know what I'm saying? When I had my brand, people were interacting with me. And I used to sell out of a shop. And I actually made more money doing what I was doing than the shop was even selling itself. You know what I'm saying? And I just started to realize, like, damn, I'm really like talented, and like I need to like dive into this more, because people use me as like a muse for things, like asking me questions. Yo, what you think about this? What you think I should do with this? What colorway you think I should do? What silhouette you think I should do? And I'm giving them my advice, and I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not getting no credit for it, and that needs to stop for me, personally. And I'm just diving more into me, in a selfish way, which I need to do, because nobody else is going to do that for me but me. But also, whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to educate people and not keep that information to myself, so it doesn't happen to others.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Each one teach one, because there's no realm for people from the hood. Come from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who are highly fashionable in the hood that don't know where to start at all. They think that they have to go to FIT and Parsons, and it's like, they don't teach you style in Parsons. They teach you how to get a job, and that's it. You came in for fashion, you're not going to learn that here, bro. That is what that is. And it's like, you're going to school to get a fucking job, not to learn about style, not to learn about fashion. That's not it. And they lose themselves, and they become a part of this cognitive wheel. And then they end up getting sucked dry, and all the creativity is gone, and they lose themselves. And then they get to an age point where they say, I need to find myself.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for me or anyone else, because that shit is soul sucking.
Listen, if what I know about you is true, I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, you are a leader. And I think more people, are going to start to realize that influencers, they're not leaders per se. They are a conduit for a brand.
I just did this yesterday for a brand.
What is this?
Oh, Carterwear.
Oh, Carterwear. I know Carterwear.
They're really good.
I actually own one. I think I own something from Carterwear. Not too bad.
I'm wearing it right now. It's that comfortable.
This is not an ad.
And it's not an ad. And I have over 100 pairs of underwears. I'm weird like that.
That's great. 100?
Yeah, I'm weird like that. I
That's
like.
a lot.
I know. I know. I know. Don't judge me. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm actually slightly judging
There
you.
ain't
That
nothing
means
wrong with
you
that.
have like a drawers
Yeah, yeah,
dedicated
yes,
to
yes,
underwear.
yes, yes, yes.
That's
Brand and colorway.
wild.
I like to be clean, bro. I don't know about you, son.
How many underwear do you go through a day?
A day.
Yeah.
What you mean a day?
If I had hundreds of pairs of underwear, I would be
Not
changing
hundreds. I
after
have
every
over
single time I use
100.
the
Listen, I
bathroom.
have over 100, but not hundreds. That's wild.
So you wild for having over 100. I'm changing after
No,
one,
I mean
two.
maybe one or two a day, maybe. You know what I mean? Like after I come from work and I go in my shower and
That's
I
real.
you know what I mean, and I change. Yes, for sure. But the reason for that is because like there was like TG Maxx and all this other stuff that I sell like Reebok and it's have Calvin Klein. I don't wear Calvin Klein because they're brand underwear ain't it for me. But like Reebok and Puma and stuff like that is comfortable and it has my size and it's like cheap to me personally
Got you.
to go buy it in the pack and it comes with it just have the technology with the sweat wicking and all this other stuff. I just like that comfortability. And plus when you think about it, right? When you buy expensive shoes, right? How do you maintain your shoes? By changing your socks, by changing the insoles, right? By how you treat it. If you don't treat it the right way and you're wearing same socks or you know like all the time and shit like that, it's gonna make the shoe not smell good. Or even your pants, or even your jacket and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like if you have a white beater and it had wife beater and it has a bunch of lint on it that refuses to come off is going to rub off on your clothes and create lint on the inside, which will eventually go on the outside. It's just maintenance that you have to do. These little things, these little itty bitty things, make a huge difference.
Even like ironing.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference.
I maintain I literally get some gadgets that I get. It's like cloth bags for my jackets. So like they don't rub up against one another, or something I have that might rub off on this might change the color or might rip, or like I get like the proper hangers for my jacket, so therefore like it's heavy, so it doesn't leave an imprint going up.
Yeah, I did
or
it with
like
sweaters.
If you have mohair and wool and stuff like that, you get a cedar Chester drawer. So therefore, like moth can't go in it, and it maintains like these little itty bitty things that I not itty bitty, but these things that I know to maintain clothes. It's like if you really care about art, you're gonna encase it. Am I wrong?
For sure.
Or you're just gonna have it there leaning up against the wall where water and people's feet and stuff like you're not gonna have that. You're gonna have it high up on the wall where there's a light on it and there's ventilation and stuff like that where it could get dusted and you know what I mean, going to exercise your clothes. 'Cause I've seen people buy Jordans and they just buy it just to buy it, and then years later it depreciates with value. It cracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like damn, and they'd be like, yo, wear your Jordans, like wear your shoes, because if you don't, it's gonna. I wear my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I have shoes that I don't wear. Sometimes I wear one shoe for like 3 days. You know what I mean? Because I like the shoe, but nobody could tell me nothing because if you know my closet, anybody that knows me knows you can't play with me like that.
Right.
And it's like don't even play yourself like that.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
You in a whole different lane. I'm gonna keep it a bug.
Don't even like I'm not an asshole, but if you put me in that realm to where I have to be, it's like I had this guy tell me like, and he's like, this lies for no reason. He's like, oh, I have friends at Lava and they don't make size 46 or 47. The highest that they go to is like a size 12. One of my clients, his ex-wife was a buyer for Bergdorf and Goodman, and she used to buy him Lanvin back in the day, and he wears a size 15 shoe, and a lot of his shoes are size 15. So I'm watching him lie out his ass. So I went and bought the curb sneaker, 2 of them, just to be an asshole, just to show you that I'm able to get it because you're lying.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, oh, the Christian Dior, that was only one of a kind. They don't even make that no more. Bought it. Oh, Capital, they don't even make a size up double XL. I got it for Mick Jenkins like years ago. Bought it. You know what I mean? Like, or like the shoe, the boot that Kanye wore, the Red Wing boot that got discontinued, that went for like $8,000, $3,000. Oh, you're not able to get that. I want that. Wayne got it.
That's crazy.
And I even pay these prices. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You know what I mean? It's like anything could get touched. Everything get touched, B. You're able to get it. Anybody could get it.
Like you said, everything you touch is art.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like everybody should be that way. You know, anything that you touch should turn into gold.
That's what's up. Anything that you want to get off your mind or you want to talk about?
Learn yourself. You know what I mean? Like, see what you like and indulge in it without fear. Don't give a fuck what anybody likes. Like, when I think about indoctrination, like, I think about people like a Jordan drop, right? You're going to see 10 variation of that same fit throughout the day because a certain Jordan drop and people want to match it. So they go to the local Jimmy Jazz or they go to the Vims or whatever and they buy, or they go to Vinny's or someplace, or, you know, and it's the same thing that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, if you're going to wear that number, do one from 2006 and you can still indulge in what's going on, but you have a different pair, different color, different everything, or just like paint it, do something different.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or just don't do it at all. You know what I mean? And it's like, why would I want to look like someone else? All of my clients want to look like themselves. So I provide that. And that's basically my job. I really wish I could get an artist. Like, I just want one artist or a ball player where I could like do my thing.
That would be dope.
You know,
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, no.
I could see you doing
to be honest, I just need to network more. I'm not really like a people's person like that.
The thing is, when people get to know you, bro,
I'm very selective on that because,
and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because people want to know me for the wrong reasons, and it's like not the reasons that you think it is. Because he could get me this, he could get me. That's not why I'm around you. And it's like there's people that's friends with you because of your job or what you got. Or that's corny to me. It's like this is why I hate networking. Is like you're not meeting people, you're meeting their Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't have the time or the capacity to be trying to figure that out, or like if you're genuine, and I don't have time for that. You know, and it's like if I feel it and not just feel, if I'm showing it to, then I might open up to you even more. But I'm all around just a kind guy, a good guy. Okay, it breaks my heart when people see me and they think that I'm sedity, or like they can't talk to me because I wear certain things, and it's like I'm human just like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this ain't nothing. Like I'll step on my own shoe just to show you, like I don't give a fuck about this shit, man. Like it is what it is. The things I just happen to like just happen to cost money, and I don't pay this level of money. As I just have access to get these type of things, and it upsets certain people that a hood nigga like me have access to this type of stuff, and it's like fuck you. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like one of my biggest inspirations is like Pusha T. He was the first person that I heard speaking this level of like game when it came to like fashion. And it was so intense and it just inspired me in that way. Even when he was talk about remember that song, What Happened to That Boy? I put this where he said I put this on my Lord, my niece was 4 when she felt chinchilla. I'm a gorgeous killer. I was like, yo, this nigga's talking shit. Yeah. Balenciaga hobo, talking about Margiela madman. I'm like, yo, this is the first time I'm hearing of this, and it just made me go from 10 deep to Margiela. You know what I mean? So I said, yo, I'm gonna fuck with this. I like this. I like what's this, JWN? I like this. You know, I just started fucking with it. Like he was one of the very few rappers or even artists like I see really at the runways, really paying attention, indulging in it, and really wearing it. The niggas on the runway. Yeah. Louis Vuitton. That's major. You understand? Like to watch, you don't understand how like I almost teared up watching that, to see him go from like big tees and throwback jerseys and not Rockaway, but like academics jackets and stuff. Even when he had the popular, I forgot the name of their brand. He had a brand, I forgot what it was called. Yeah, to go from that to Louis Vuitton is like major. Even though I don't wear Louis like that, but it's the pinnacle when it comes to like fashion. You know, that's like the Goku of fashion. You know, even though we know there's Brawleys and Freezers and people out here that's really like strong. But like, yeah, just do what you want to do.
Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, you can find me at mylord92 on Instagram, MYLAWD
My Lord.
92. I'm pretty sure he's gonna plug it in for me.
Oh yeah.
Also, I want to shout out Atlan.
Yes.
You know, the brand is really like growing up big. I like her jewelry a lot too. You know, I make jewelry too, but she's at another level of making stuff, and I like her reworking, you know, work that she's doing.
This dude is light years ahead of us when it comes to the fashion game, but you know, like I said, your style is impeccable, but beyond your style, it's like who you are as a person is. I've enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm just happy that you came on this podcast and chopped it up with your boy.
I enjoyed it too, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it too. I love talking to you, man.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Bro.
Peace.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe, rate, and review this episode wherever you listen to your podcasts. Doing so helps grow the Right Hype community and helps me reach my goal to 1,000 listeners. Thank you. Peace out, fam.